Hello everyone. It is the first snake outing of the new year. Hoping today to see our first snakes of 2021. I'm here with Ian and Daniel. And we're going to be walking around in the swamp today. It should be pretty good weather to see some snakes. So we're going to get after it. I will keep you guys updated on how this goes. It ain't much, but it's honest work. There is our first snake of 2021. A cottonmouth. Sitting in this bush. Well, anyways, it's a pretty good looking cottonmouth, nice and healthy, just hanging out here on the edge of this creek. But we're gonna leave him alone. What you got?
Go ahead and try to find it. He ain't going nowhere, and that's just it.
Oh,
that
dude!
Okay. Sorry. Very nice.
Heck yeah! What is he doing? Eastern Kingsnake.
Wow. Is that an... Oh, I thought it was a...
There we go. Second snake of 2020, contrary to what some people might say. An Eastern Kingsnake right here next to this cottonmouth. We'll call it a twofer. We'll call them both our first snakes of 2020. In situ up in this tree. Look at that stippling, dude. That's a good looking snake. Well, there we go. First king snake and second snake of 2021. Nice looking stippling on this guy. He was just chilling out in this tree, probably got flooded out of his burrow this morning in all this rain, and crawled up in the tree to dry off. Can't really tell it's water in the background, unfortunately. What an awesome way to start 2021. Kingsnake and cottonmouth, and we still have the whole day ahead of us. We're gonna put this guy back in his tree and keep hiking. All right, guys, we are releasing the first kingsnake of 2021.
Still weird.
Stay out of the water. That's about as good of a start to the new year as I could have asked for. And still, we have the whole day ahead of us as long as it doesn't rain. We're gonna be walking around these uplands and around the edge of the swamp, hoping to see more snakes. And there is Old Reliable's first sighting in 2021. The one-eyed cottonmouth emerging from his lair. What a guy.
Oh, yeah.
And there is our next snake of 2021, a nice little DEKAY'S brown snake. Nice spot, Daniel. First DEKAY'S brown snake of 2021, and I'm gonna wager it's probably not the last. All right, guys, next species of snake for 2021. This is a banded water snake. These are the coastal plain and fall line equivalent of the Midland water snake. My camera will focus. We see plenty of these guys throughout the year, but I figured I'd nab this one to give you guys a look because it is the first of the season. But a pretty handsome water snake. Okay, chill out, don't bite me. Well, we're gonna put this guy back in his bush. All right, buddy. Here's our next snake of the day, another banded water snake. He is way down there tucked in. Barely even visible. Oh, thanks, camera. There you can kind of see him right there. Only a couple scales hanging out. I might try to grab him and see if we can get a better look at him. There you go. This guy has some spunk to him. Anyways, I figured I'd pull him out and just get a better look at him and make sure it was actually a banded and not a plain-bellied. And it is. Good looking little banded water snake. Those bite marks are from the big one. This guy hasn't bit me yet. Cool looking belly too. Anyways, I'm gonna leave him to it. All right, guys, here's our next snake of the day. Ian just spotted a cottonmouth. Another cotton?
Yeah. Oh, that one's cool. I want to photograph that one. Yeah, he's nice.
Oh yeah. That might be the same one we saw last time. This cottonmouth actually has some really good colors for here. Hanging out at the edge of this stump hole. And then right over here, we have another one. I think that one's even bigger though. we saw here last time.
Is it bigger than what we saw before?
Yeah, I think it is. Anyways, we're gonna leave these guys alone after some pictures. And there is our first box turtle of 2021. Really nice color on this guy. Look at that. Handsome. Right here on the edge of the swamp. Possibly got flooded out of his hibernaculum, but these guys are pretty active this time of year on warm days, so it's possible he just decided to come out and get some sun. There he is, first box turtle of 2021. We're gonna leave him to it and see what else we can turn up. It still feels really good out here, and it's only gonna continue to warm up as it gets later in the day. There we go. Beautiful timber rattlesnake in situ. Right there. First rattlesnake, 2021. That thing is just absolutely glowing. That's ridiculous. January 2nd, 2021. 2021. It's the new year. And that is the icing on the cake today so far. We've seen decent numbers, and we've seen a couple quality snakes. Well, that thing is beautiful. All right, we are gonna try to leave this snake right here undisturbed. A couple more pictures, and then we're gonna leave him right there and move on. Beautiful canebrake rattlesnake here in Georgia on December 2nd, 2021. What a snake. 2021, ladies and gentlemen. Alright guys, next snake of the day is a little hatchling rat snake I found poking around in the bark at the base of this tree. These guys are generally pretty common this time of year. They come up to the surface to warm up on days like today. It's a pretty handsome looking little snake though. This guy was born this year and has grown a little bit since he hatched, but this is basically a hatchling snake still. And over the next year or so, he'll probably grow up to around 2 foot or more. But good looking little rat snake. I'm gonna put him back under his little piece of bark and keep hiking. We're doing pretty good about now. I think we're getting close to around 10 snakes. All right, guys, it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The clouds have gotten a little bit dense, and we haven't seen a snake in a while. So it might end up wrapping up the day here soon, but we're gonna keep at it for about another hour or so. See if anything else pops up. All right, guys, came up to this creek crossing and found a log to flip and turned up this meaty guy. This is a big southern red salamander. We see these guys in this creek pretty often, but always nice to get your first of the year. These guys, as they get larger, they kind of lose some of their coloration and aren't as nice looking, but still a really cool looking salamander and something I'm always stoked to see. Anyways, we're gonna take some photos of this guy and put him back under his log. Really cool little micro habitat these guys live in here in this ravine. This might end up being our last snake of the day. We saw this guy last time we were in this area, except for he was way over there. And today, he's coiled atop his stump. Nice looking adult rat snake. Looks like he's about to go into shed. Got a little bit of a blue eye there. Anyways. That is his stump. He went straight down it last time we saw him. I've not seen as many rat snakes today as I was expecting to, but this is what, number 3? I think Richard found one. I found 2. Oh no, 4. Daniel found one too. Hello everyone, it's been a couple of days since you saw me last, and we're finally getting some more herpable weather. It's been kind of cold and sunny and dry, and we haven't really had much rain since I last saw you guys finding our first snakes of 2021. So I'm going to try to wrap up this video today. I'm going to get out in this rain and revisit those pools that I visited in the first video of 2021 and see just if anything's changed out there, see if there's more egg masses. I'm sure at least a few things will be out tonight, despite it being around 39 to 40 degrees. That water will be a little bit warmer. It's actually uncomfortably cold out here, so I'm going to bundle up. I'm actually going to put on some boots tonight instead of sandals, and we're going to go see what we can turn up once it gets dark. Yep. This is gonna be cold. But this is the time of year where you kind of have to take what you can get, and some weeks are really cold and you have to work with what you're given. So we're gonna go see what we can do with 39 degrees and drizzling. What a gloomy aesthetic going on out here tonight. It's eerily quiet, you'll notice immediately. When I was walking out here in the previous episode, it was just deafeningly loud with the calls of chorus frogs and toads. I'm kind of surprised there's none calling now. They're generally pretty cold tolerant, and especially with all the rain we had today, I would have expected them to be peeping a little bit. So right away, you'll notice an eerie silence. I do hear a few chorus frogs kind of slowly trilling in the background. There is evidence that there was life here at one point with egg masses. These are the eggs of the American toad. The guys with the high-pitched trill we were hearing last time we were out here. I expect we'll probably see a lot more of these tonight, given the amount of frogs that were out active in this pond when we were here last. Here we have evidence of yet another species. These are southern leopard frog eggs. You can tell that they're not toad eggs because they're not laid in a string. The American toad lays their eggs in a line that looks kind of like a double helix. Which is the structure of DNA, to put just so you can have something to compare it to. Whereas southern leopard frogs lay clusters of eggs like this that are the eggs are much smaller than individual spotted salamander eggs. I'll put my hand down next for scale. At a glance, these two egg masses, when you see a spotted salamander egg mass, they look pretty similar, but this is definitely leopard frog. There's another couple of them right there. Yeah, it's unpleasant out here. The wind's blowing and my hands are freezing off, so I'm gonna go see if I can turn up anything in the better pools. So this is one of the main things I wanted to check up on. This is one of the areas that had the most salamanders in it last time we were out here. And you can see there's still a bunch of white clusters there on the bottom. Those are spermatophores. Those are the male reproductive drop, basically. And the fact that those are still sitting there rather than big blue glowing blobs of eggs means that the females still haven't come to this pond in mass. I do think I see one egg mass over here. And yeah, there is one egg mass. I'm gonna walk out to it. My feet are gonna get soaked, but actually there are a couple egg masses here. So there have been females here, not a bunch of them, but a couple have been in this area. That is a spotted salamander egg mass. You can see the eggs are much larger, and there's another one right there. I'm only seeing those two clusters in here though. Normally this is completely filled, and I'm sure it will be next time we get a warm rain. But yeah, spotted salamander eggs. So here's a really fascinating phenomenon I was hoping we'd be able to see tonight. This is the egg mass that had a teeming mass of leopard frog tadpoles last time. This is a huge egg mass. You can see there's a couple invertebrates in there kind of eating the scraps. But over here, we have a massive, thriving eastern newt that has undoubtedly been predating upon all of these little tadpoles. Let's see if I can find one. See them there? Those are little leopard frog tadpoles. And this guy is undoubtedly just hanging out, sucking these things up as they come out of this egg mass. I'm kind of surprised there's not more newts in this general area, but you can see most of the tadpoles are vacated. Really cool to see these little invertebrates in there doing their thing, scavenging. There's a tadpole still hanging out at the egg mass. It looks like the rest of them dispersed in the environment. Here is another couple of spotted salamander egg masses. I'm scanning to see if I see any adults, and I don't, but there's some larger tadpoles here. These could be leopard frog or maybe even bullfrog. They're large, so they've been in here for a couple of months, which kind of, Jesus, tree just fell over there. It's super windy if you can't tell. But the fact that they're so big leads me to believe that they're probably leopard frog or bullfrog. But right there, there's a dragonfly larva, kind of cool, a couple of them. Right there is a big, beautiful, glowing ball of salamander eggs. Now, as these eggs, I believe that they will actually expand and grow in size as they spend time in the water. The actual egg mass will kind of inflate a little bit. I could be wrong on that, but I think that the gel, the protective gel that surrounds the eggs, actually expands as it absorbs water and as the eggs grow. I'm not positive on that though, but I think I recall hearing something about that. I'll try to look it up and confirm or deny it. But anyways, a couple more egg masses here. But you can see this really unnatural looking blue coloration that these things make. This is completely undoctored. You can see how much it changes when the angle of the light changes. Kind of like that's barely any light, but when you get that direct light on it, they reflect this crazy blue color. I'm not sure exactly what causes that, but one really cool thing about spotted salamander eggs is that they actually are symbiotic with a species of algae that lives within the egg masses and photosynthesizes. I'm not really up to date on the intricate details of how it works, but essentially there's a mutually beneficial relationship between the algae and the salamander eggs that allows both species to grow faster. The salamanders that live in these pools are kind of on borrowed time. As the pools dry up in the warmer months, these salamanders have to be out of the water or they'll dry up and die. So it's the most beneficial for these animals to get out of the water as fast as possible and into their adult forms. But I really just love looking at these. They're super alien looking, super mysterious little blobs. If I didn't know what these were and I just stumbled across this thing, I would be flabbergasted. One of the more interesting things you can find in the wilderness, in my opinion. Really cool. Anyways, here's a couple more. There's a couple over there as well. I'm gonna try to monitor these over the next couple weeks as often as I can and keep you guys updated, since a lot of people were super interested in the first video I released of the breeding event here. We'll probably have at least 1 or 2 more good nights like that where there's a lot of activity here. But I'm going to try to get out here as much as possible and just keep you guys updated on how these eggs are going. This is the only species that I'm not really surprised to see out here when it's this cold. Newts are super active in this cold water. This big male is trying to swim under my shoe. There's a tadpole. Newts are the only adult salamander that I really see out here when it's this cold. Generally, I see spotteds on the warmer nights. But these guys don't seem to really care. I've seen them out here when the air temperature is well below freezing in the high 20s. I come out here just to see if I can see anything. And these guys are usually out and about. So I'm going to leave this guy to it. He's probably out hunting. It's kind of incredible that these guys are tolerant of the super cold water temperature right now. But the food web out here is so complex. I think a lot of these species are breeding in an effort to kind of get a head start on each other, because newts will eat just about anything that they find that they can fit in their mouth. Here's another newt. Look at that. The super predators of these little vernal pools. They vacuum up just about anything that crosses their path, as I've said. But really cool to see these guys out when it's this cold. My timer is counting down because I'm wearing boots that have now been flooded and soaked. I don't know why I come out here expecting to be able to resist the urge to just jump in here and walk around like it's not cold. But I do it anyways, and I think part of the problem is I'm just too lazy to put on my waders. They're so inconvenient to drive in. And there's a caddisfly. These guys are super cool. They collect items from the environment and create a shell. You can see there's a little critter hanging out in there. And they actually eat salamander eggs too. You'll find these guys predating on the egg masses a little bit later in the season. But really cool looking little insects. Hopefully I'll be able to give you guys a better look at caddisflies later. Here's a newt, a couple of newts. You see the guy on the left there and the guy on the right. 2 males hanging out next to this spotted salamander egg mass. It's just crazy how much life. Look at this caddisfly coming out. That is awesome. It's crazy how much life is in here when it's this cold. But that's one of the things that makes it so magical. This guy's just kind of floating in the water column, probably waiting for something to float by that he can snatch up and eat. You can see this caddisfly is working his way around this vegetation clump. And there's a nice big spotted salamander mass. I believe this is the spotted salamander egg mass we saw the night that there was so much activity. And if that is the case, it's grown quite a bit. Here's another caddisfly doing his thing. These things are so cool. I'm not really sure what he's doing here, digging through this debris, maybe looking for stuff to make a new segment to his home. I don't know. If anyone knows more about insects than I do, feel free to comment. These guys are super interesting to me, though. I love watching them out here. He's just kind of picking around in this debris here. Super crazy looking to see this worm with like claws basically emerge from a leaf. Just a really alien looking critter. Love them. All right, guys, I'm officially making my way back to the car. Nothing crazy going on out here tonight, but it's really cool to see stuff active when it's this cold. I don't enjoy being out here when it's this cold, but I enjoy seeing the stuff out here when it's this cold. It's super unpleasant. The combination of cold and wet is one of the most miserable things that a human can experience, but it's all worth it to get to observe some of the crazy behavior and activity that happens out here, even on the coldest nights. I was hoping that the rain tonight would have gotten this a little bit more active, but I guess not. Just a little bit too cold tonight, I guess. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you're enjoying these vernal pool videos. I'm going to continue doing them throughout the spring, especially until it warms up and snakes become more reliable again. But this video had some snakes in it too, so I think it works out best for everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned. Let me know how you're doing in 2021. Let me know how you're feeling about the first couple episodes. Really could not have asked for a much better day out there, where we got the timber and the Kingsnake and a couple more common snakes too. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode.